Space, the final frontier. These are the voyages of the starship Plot. Its 5-day mission to explore strange new worlds, to seek out new lives and new civilizations, to boldly go where no respectable YouTube channel has gone before. Yeah, you guessed it. I'm playing Star Trek Online. Engage. Oh yeah, let's go. Demand a refund? No way, this has been good so far. Oh god. Oh god. Basic maneuvers. I fucked up. I fucked. Get out. It's awkward species. I think this is more about you if you like see people and think they look like. I don't know, man. Star Trek Online released back in 2010, which strangely enough makes it the same age as Final Fantasy XIV. It is set 30 years after the events of Star Trek Nemesis, and if you don't know what Star Trek Nemesis is, well, you're missing out. It even has Tom Hardy in it, that's how great this movie was. But listen, we're not here to talk about that, we're here to talk about Star Trek Online. Now, because of its age, the graphics do look dated, the animations can be somewhat janky. Look at that! Oh my god, look at the way he runs. That's so awesome. And the combat, it's an interesting one. Who needs to know? Oh god. Like, kill me. Roadblocks, away. I'm gonna throw a grenade at this one. No, hang on. Boom. Oh man, that was good. But even with all that, there's still a population to this game. 13 years later, people are deciding to play this MMO over some of the most popular ones. And that makes me wonder why. What is the secret sauce to Star Trek Online? Is it simply people like the franchise? Is it because it's a free-to-play MMO? What is the draw to this game? So join me as we go through and take a look at the different aspects of Star Trek Online and what they do well, what they do badly, and what is just unique to them. And before we get started, if you do want to help me out, by all means, feel free to subscribe, drop a like on this video, and yeah, let's jump into it. Back in 2010, this game was originally released by Atari Interactive and Cryptic Studios. Some of you might have heard of Cryptic Studios already, and that's because they've produced other MMOs, such as Champions Online, and of course, Neverwinter, which is a game I recently reviewed, and I did enjoy some aspects of, up until the point that it just seemed very over-monetized. But I'm sure Star Trek Online will be different.
Doubt. Be skeptical. Hard to believe.
After less than 2 years of being published, the game went free to play. It's at this point you could probably picture what the monetization is like on this title. Any free-to-play game is bound to have a cash shop and some sort of pay-to-win advantage to it. When this game was originally released, there was a monthly subscription, but you could buy a one-off purchase of a lifetime subscription for $299. And as I sit here and say that number and think about the actual overall price I've paid on other MMOs, it's not actually that bad, but that was an MMO from 10 years ago offering this deal. They really were either ahead of their time or just batshit crazy. It's hard to gauge the actual population for this game because 1, it's cross-platform, and 2, it has literally 3 different ways to launch the game. Obviously one of them being Steam, but it has 2 different standalone launchers. But from what I've experienced so far, the queues for like different group events wasn't too bad, and I can see other players clearly in the environment. And it's also a positive sign that there's been 4 expansions and a constant supply of new cosmetics to the cash shop. An IGN reviewer once described Star Trek Online like meshing together 2 different games, and they didn't mean that in a good way either. And the thing is, I kind of get their point. The space battles in Star Trek Online are really intricate. There are a variety of builds, abilities, different crewmates you can put on, and believe it or not, the combat is actually quite fun. It's like a more complex version of Star Trek Legacy, which in my own personal opinion was a great game and I completed it, so you know, I'm a bit of an alpha Chad when it comes to Star Trek. And then you have your ground combat, and it really feels like this should have been done like a FPS, but instead it's this generic third-person MMO view with tab targeting and clunky controls, which just makes it not very enjoyable. But other than that, the gameplay in general seems quite good. I love the customization, the fact that the character creation screen is one of the most complex I've seen in quite some time. It's almost like Michael Jackson. I think this is Michael Jackson. If I make his face not so wide, where's cheekbones? That's not that one. The overall head width, ready? Shimona. Hey there. No. They have full voice acting, including some of the original stars from the Star Trek franchise. Okay, get him, get him, get him.
His powers are weaker, but
Thank fuck for that.
Keep at it.
Oh, oh, welcome to Jackass. And from what I've experienced so far, the storytelling is actually pretty good. And for all of you MMO artisans out there, there's even crafting. And let's be honest, there's going to be one major draw to this game, and I don't mean this disrespectfully either, but it is a role player's paradise. Picture this, it's Saturday night, which means it's Star Trek night. You put on your favourite cadet outfit, you log on to Star Trek Online, you have a few drinks and a little bit of a boogie at the Earth space dock. You then make your way to the Alpha Quadrant so you can chill out in Deep Space Nine, have a couple more drinks, and maybe play some darts. Maybe you get a little bit too tipsy and decide to drive straight into a wormhole and just see where it takes you. The point I'm trying to get at is that if you're a massive Trekkie, this game is perfect for you. It's free to play and has some of the most iconic places from pretty much any series. So what about endgame, I hear you asking? Is there an endgame to Star Trek Online? If you're someone who likes to just go questing and exploring, I mean, you need to see the size of this map. It's freaking huge, and there seems to be a story in every sector. There's also raids you can do with other players. Everyone knows that fashion is endgame, so there's plenty of that to be had. And of course there's PvP. Not that I've experienced it yet, but from what I hear, it is quite interesting. And what makes it interesting is the amount of variation of builds you can do for your ships. And so begins the downfall. Yes, there's hundreds of different variations in ships, but they all come at a slight cost. So how does a 13-year-old game which is free to play keep on existing? Well, of course, it's with monetization. Star Trek practically has the same currency system as Neverwinter. So just like Neverwinter, you have the in-game diamonds or dilithium crystals, which you can then exchange for Zen coins. Now, normally this wouldn't be a bad thing, but it takes so long to do, you're practically encouraged to buy these coins as opposed to trying to earn them through playing the game for hundreds and hundreds of hours. And just like Neverwinter, there are of course loot boxes which require a Zen key in order for you to open. Any game with predatory loot boxes, I'm just never a fan of. And just how predatory are these boxes? Well, they don't even tell you the odds. Now, of course, I'm usually dead against monetization. I mean, hell, they have the typical, this costs 3,000 Zen coins, but you can only purchase in batches of 2,000 or 5,000. Which is honestly one of my biggest pet peeves. But the thing is, with Star Trek Online, is that it's 13 years old and still going, and it's thanks to the monetization. The 7 of 9 cosplay outfit probably kept the servers going for an extra 3 years. And it's not like these Trekkies have any other MMOs to go to. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's a severe element of pay to win. If you buy a tier 6 ship, it's practically the end game ship that you'll need. But at the same time, I feel like a lot of these ships are probably bought for roleplay. And that's probably why it doesn't feel like a monetization cesspit. It is literally you paying for your costume. And who am I to shit on a bunch of role players? After all, I am a talking dog. So is this a WoW killer? No. Is this going to contend with other MMOs? Probably not. But if you're a Star Trek fan and you just want something to lose yourself in and have a little bit of lore, do a little bit of roleplay, and hell, even have some competitive raiding, this is the game for you. This isn't a generic MMO with a Star Trek skin on it. Yes, I did say earlier I felt like the ground combat was quite basic, but it's that space combat which really just stands out for me. It feels like it was made with the Star Trek fans in mind, while also not trying to just be another cash grab opportunity for a franchise. I think the Star Trek universe is severely overlooked, and it makes you wonder what a bigger game studio could have really done with this IP. So, is Star Trek Online worth a play in 2023? Personally, just for nostalgia's sake, I think it's worth a play. Just be wary of that cash shop. But what are your thoughts? Are you still playing Star Trek Online to this day? Were you an original lifetime member? Comment below and let me know your thoughts. And with that being said, if you liked the video, by all means leave a like. If you want to see more of my stuff, please subscribe. And I'll leave some videos on the screen for you now, which you might enjoy, and hopefully I'll catch you again soon. Bye bye for now.